Good morning, John Campbell, San Juan Capistrano resident. I'm used to being behind the room speaking to the city council meeting, so this is just perfect. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the sale of the property at the corner of Ortega and Camino Real. We have a proposed criteria for bid evaluation. By way of introduction, San Juan Capistrano City Council should select a bid that creates the maximum public benefit. Developing a framework of criteria open and shared with the community is the most objective way to do that. The following criteria are strongly aligned with public benefit. Number one, adhere to the historic town center master plan. These properties are the gateway into town, and as such should be developed in a way that's consistent with the historic town center master plan and being complementary to the mission of San Juan. The site will become a source of civic pride for the city, enhancing the lives of our residents and visitors for generations to come. The project should serve as a landmark, highlighting the entry to downtown San Juan Capistrano. Number two, increased parking. The selected bid should provide a significant additional parking spaces, not just for use of the project, but to help ease the overall parking shortage in town and enable the product concept. Knowing that would be fast and easy way to find parking and make it pleasurable to many amenities in San Juan Capistrano. Number three, continue and expand the commitment to the performing arts. The selected bid should include a long-term commitment for the performing arts facility to enable broader public benefit. This would extend the heritage of Camino Real Playhouse, which has been operating on the site for 26 years, providing entertainment, education for thousands of local citizens and their children, as well as drawing visitors from across Southern California. Number four, attract more people to benefit downtown restaurants and businesses. The selected bid should include a combination of performing arts, a diverse set of retail, restaurant, and commercial facilities, and public parking that strengthens our downtown community and will draw residents and visitors to contribute to the city's stated goal of a lively 18-hour mixed environment. Number five, demonstrate financial viability. The selected bid should evidence strong financial viability during construction and initial occupancy, and should endure for years to come. Diversity of uses and flexible spaces will help ensure this. The selected bid should have a strong proposal for either a for-profit or a non-profit 501c3 for the performing arts component to assure its success. Projects should be rated on long-term financial benefit to the city of San Juan Capistrano and its surrounding businesses. Thank you so much for accepting this very important criteria. And I have some copies. May I hand those out to the council? Would that be okay? Thank you.
Aaron, Cutler, Fire, Brendan Cohan, Mark Bodenhammer, Jim Reardon. If you would sort of be prepared to jump over anytime.
Good morning, Mayor. My name is Erin Cutnick-Fire. I'm a 19-year resident of San Juan Capistrano, and I'm here today to represent Coffee Chat, and I just wanted to take a moment to publicly congratulate both Brian Marriott and Sergio Farias on being elected to the council. We had the opportunity to meet them at Coffee Chat during the election, and I also wanted to come today to extend an invitation to all 5 council members to please come and join us at Coffee Chat as often as your schedules allow. As you know, I host every week with rotating co-hosts of Mark Bodenhammer, John Gelati, Steve Bemerwald, and Tom Scott. And we have quite a great attendance of people who care very much about this town, who are very involved in various different either charities, nonprofits, businesses, commissions, whatever it is. And we talk about a lot of different things. But we haven't had anyone from council in a little while. We were very fortunate for a long time to have Sam and John, who would come pretty regularly, and we really enjoyed having the opportunity to ask them questions on a more informal basis And so we wanted to make sure that all 5 of you knew that you are always welcome. We obviously would love to have no more than 2 at a time because there is a Brown Act issue, and we do not want to violate that or have any problems. I doubt that all 5 of you could come at once anyway, but we just wanted to make sure that you know that the door is always open, and we would love to have the opportunity to have you come and tell us what's going on from your own perspective in the city. And we meet at Hennessy's every Friday at 8 a.m. and we look forward to great things in 2017. And so I just wanted to have that moment to welcome you at any time to come and join us. Thank you.
Renfro Hammer.
I'm right here, and I think I'm loud enough as to not try to get over there to another thing and waste the time with that. I'm here about the substation. I live on the southern border of Calle Bonita, which is the southern border of the substation. So this is very up close for me, as well as many other residents in our area, as well as many other communities that are concerned that the SDG&E proposal did go through unanimously with the CPUC, incredibly unanimously, even though a judge, Farrar, suggested the Alt-J as the alternative of a way to go. Somehow he was overridden and the decision went through. So first off, I want to affirm our request to informally meet with someone in the City Council, chiefly Sergio Farias, as he is in the neighborhood close to it, as well as you, Mayor Ferguson, and I'm sorry. Good morning to all of you. Mayor Ferguson, as well as Mayor Pro Tem Farias, as well as the rest of you, and welcome to you new ones. I reviewed last night the stay and rehearing with both Gooden, the attorney working for the city on this, and also one other party has joined fighting this, Frontlines. They were quite different in the text of their stay and rehearing. Gooden focused on Alt-J, Alt-F, which I believe to be Mission Viejo, as well as I don't believe they mentioned no project. They were asking why they hadn't gone that way. Frontlines instead focused very much on no project. Very interesting, 40 pages versus Gooden, 29 pages. I just don't understand the difference. Why did our attorneys not have as long and address the same thing as Frontlines did? That probably could be easily answered. Also, I noticed, I'm sorry, but I must say I looked at Gooden, I looked them over, really, on their website. We are not listed as one of their clients. They list the city of San Clemente and some other city I've forgotten. Why not us? Why are we not listed as their client? We are paying them. You guys approved it. Thank you so much for doing that. But why don't they list us as a client? This is important. So what can I do but wonder what Gooden McBride is doing? It makes me wonder. I should be able to wonder this. As they went through their rehearing request, they listed so many codes and laws that have been overridden to make this decision happen. It just makes you wonder again how this happened. You can come to your own things where they have talked about the CPUC and how corrupt it is and that it should be overridden now and reformed or something. My suggestions, because I hear the beeper, continue to portray us as a very strong city. We will not be screwed over like they have chosen Mission Viejo and Laguna Niguel to screw over. Please keep the fight going so they get tired of us and fight. Can we bid for another electrical company? Leave SDG&E. Get somebody else in here. Another electrical company. Tell them we don't want you anymore.
Time's up now, but you know that we are vested in this effort.
Well, you can see I'm passionate about it. Thank you.
Mark Bodenhammer.
Good morning, Mayor, members of the council. Mark Bodenhammer. I'm actually here today not representing myself or the Chamber of Commerce. I've been the designated speaker for the Coffee Chat group. We had a meeting today. I think there's probably 40, maybe 50 people here. You guys raise your hand if you were here for Coffee Chat and a part of this process. So what we did, knowing that today's meeting was going to occur, we put together a list of the issues that this group felt was important that they wanted to bring to your attention. So this, again, it's not me, not the chamber, this is a fairly democratic process we just had this morning. So they've been arranged in tiers, we've got 8 issues that they wanted to bring to your attention. The top tier were the most important, but in no particular order within the tiers. Top tier was preservation of the Blenheim facility and events in order to preserve our equestrian heritage and that big part of our local economy.
So just a moment, so that would be,
I do have a written list I can give to you then.
well, we'll just do this, one comment, I guess.
Good. Okay. Also part of tier 1, widen the Ortega. Get the hotels built so that we can start earning money on these great projects that have been proposed. And the last part of tier 1 is downtown parking, addressing the great shortage that we have because it's impacting so many of the residents and businesses. Tier 2, paving and potholes, there's a ton of them out in the city that need work. Also, water rates, addressing the deficit and taking a look at the great amount of deferred maintenance that is outstanding. Tier 3, and I want to stress that these are not something that are unimportant, but just the other 2 were higher tiers. So tier 3 was the SDG&E issue. The group was concerned about the amount of money that's being spent fighting something that seems like it's very unlikely to be overturned, and also suggested that the city take the approach of pursuing mitigation so that there are some mitigation efforts that the residents who are going to be most impacted can get. I think there was concern that the city hadn't asked for anything. Finally, the toll road was something that was brought up and believed to be an issue. The plan that I know it's not likely, but it is on the list of alternatives that could be going through our District 5, the open space out there, potentially impacting the ridge lines, and so want to make sure that the city is on top of that. So again, this was all from Coffee Chat. We had a good discussion, and I want to thank everybody from the city staff and council who are here today listening to the public. I think this is a really good thing for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim Reardon.
He had to go to work.
He left. He said to
Okay.
say thank
Mark
you.
Spears.
Hi, I'm just going to stand here and hope that you can all hear me. I know that the city is eagerly looking for additional income or spending less, and I wanted to speak this morning on a specific topic that I think illustrates where we're going the opposite direction. Speaking as myself, but the Planning Commission reviewed CIP 17201, which was adding, at the time, domestic and irrigation water, recycled water, to the riding park. And there was consideration for how those were being used and what needed to go on. It was discovered that the domestic water, at least at the time, was for fire hydrants, nothing else, nobody drinking it. And we discovered that the OCFA had given Irvine a waiver to allow them to use recycled water for that intent. Seemed to be a clever way of saving a whole lot of money. By the way, this item was listed for $515,000. What I'm a little confused by is that there's currently a negative declaration seemingly to be the same thing that not only now includes domestic water and recycled water, but now a lateral sewer line. And I'm confused on how a project like that grew to be larger than this. This is where I get a little concerned when we've signed a purchase agreement that covers certain things that the city is supposed to do, but then suddenly it grows to being a much, much larger project that I don't think people are connecting the dots. So I brought copies of both of them. I'm just hoping that we can spend our money as efficiently as we possibly can, and at the same point get the most benefit from every dollar we invest. Thank you.
Thank you. Kim McCarthy.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I want to take this opportunity to remind all 5 council members and thank them for serving, but remind them 2 years ago, or approximately 2 years ago, the election was a bloodbath. 3 people were elected because people in this town were sick of the status quo. They were sick of how the city was being run, the debt we'd incurred, the good old boys, etc. Fast forward to our recent election, in my opinion, was another bloodbath. Two people were elected that were not from the status quo, were not from the good old boys. And I want to point this out, that that is a clear message from the residents who are at work right now, that do not come to these meetings, do not come to the council meetings. They have elected 5 people to please balance the budget, stop spending too much, and have the backs of the residents. Yet my experience, I'm speaking as myself, but as my experience as a commissioner, the example that was just given previously is what I have encountered on the commission, where we are constantly, information is withheld from us, votes that we make are circumvented and not pushed forward, emails are kept from us. My concern is that the administration for the last year is in over their head. I would highly suggest that this council consider a disaster management team, a private entity, to come in and clean this up. There's too much drama in this town. It's been going on for too long. We have a $6 million operating deficit in the utility department. We're borrowing from the sewer. And basically, what I'd like to see for the city besides that is the same things that I've wanted 10 years ago. Water, traffic, debt, and infrastructure. Number one, we have the same unfair fines. Why aren't we closing the water factory and laying off the employees? It's a solid business decision. We've accumulated debt and operating deficit. Under the administration for the last year, we're borrowing from other departments and still fining our residents. I drive over the same potholes I did 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We still have unpaved roads from 1971. And last year, the sewer pump on Highland has changed. Now it's bigger and orange instead of yellow. We need solid business decisions. I would like to suggest that we bring in, once again, a private company that can do this in a matter of time, objectively, not somebody, people that are led by money and friends. Thank you.
Eva Krabs. Thank you.
Hello, this is Ava Krabs. I'm speaking as a private person, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I understand well from being a commissioner and being part of this community how complex the issues are that our city council faces, and I thank them very much for their dedication. And what they need most in their decision making is truth provided to them by staff. And what I'd like to point out is a report that I have received, and is available, of course, publicly, that is contrary to the truth, specifically about some grading in the Riding Park, grading into the creek. The staff report says, there has been no grading on site adjacent to the creek. There was some sod that was pushed into the creek but was removed by hand and restored to its original condition. There is so much evidence to the contrary, even to an untrained eye. The grading is on a massive scale. The importance of retaining the Riding Park should not cloud protection of our residents and our environment. The scale of this grading is so massive that it could not have been mistaken or missed by our staff. It simply could not. The evidence is clear, unrefutable. So for your priority, I would ask that you retain staff that provides unvarnished truth for your decision making, so that our residents and our environment are not compromised. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva. Jan Siegel. And after Jan, Cecilia, and then Steve.
Good morning, members of City Council. Thank you for having this meeting today. I'm coming because there are a number of questions that I have, and one is that I hope that you do not play games with the Blenheim Aquasports. This company deserves your respect, your acknowledgement for the business, goodwill, and championship quality events that they continue to bring to San Juan Capistrano. They have made the Rancho Mission Viejo Riding Park at San Juan Capistrano a world-class event center. I am not an equestrian, but I enjoy spending an afternoon watching top riders compete. Not only do the participants compete for top dollar, they stay and spend money in our community. With Los Angeles competing for the 2024 Olympics, it would only put more emphasis on this facility for horse competition. Don't let this incredible facility get away. Although they do a couple of shows a year in Del Mar and Las Vegas, their webpage highlights San Juan Capistrano. To encourage people to come to their events, they highlight all the activities and events around our community, including our restaurants. Blenheim has been nothing but supportive of this community. They deserve your support for all they do in making San Juan Capistrano such a unique community. I hope this remarkable facility will be on the top of your to-do and to-keep list. And also, last week there was a sign from Caltrans on Las Ramblas saying that the Las Ramblas, the Las Ramblas area going under the freeway would be closed for 10 days from January 30th to February 10th. This week, the sign says that it will be closed from February 10th until May 10th. Is this change correct? And why suddenly are we going from 2 weeks to 4 months? Thank you.
Cecilia.
I'd like to make a little corrections on the coffee chat. I was standing in the back and I was quickly counting numbers of hands that come up. And I think from my perspective, the SDG&E hands that come up was just as high as those priority one issues. So I'm an engineer. I know that the utility company system is a myth. So there is no argument that they need to be in our location. We need to understand that why did they have it in our locations to expand for expansions. We need to understand why other neighborhoods don't want it and why do we get dumped on it. Is there any money change hand, any favor change hand? Just we're getting the short end of the stick. We need to bring public, we need to bring newscasts to help us understand why do we get the short stick.
Thank you, Cecilia.
Steve Beckerwall, San Juan. I wasn't going to speak till our previous speaker, Ms. McCarthy, basically badmouthed the whole town. I think our staff is as good as it's ever been. Thank you, Mr. Siegel. Thank you, everyone on city staff. To advocate putting in the town in a receivership or whatever she was advocating it wasn't